These videos are brought to you by MSCCasino.com and the Macau Sporting Club. MSCCasino.com. Check it out.
You are watching Sports Matters TV.
How's fight camp heading into April 23rd? You know, we're edging closer to a huge fight for you. So how's preparation going so far?
Yeah, it was fantastic. Obviously, started my camp in Australia at CMBT Training Center. All the guys there have been great. That's my hometown, the Gold Coast. So it was very comfortable to be back on the Gold Coast, and then having the opportunity to have like really good level of training and be surrounded by a lot of high level guys was even better. I was sort of waiting for my visa to come through so that I could get over to America obviously as soon as possible and get adjusted, but it worked out perfectly. I get to finish the last couple of weeks here in San Diego, and then obviously next week head off to Hawaii. So the camp's been fantastic. It's come together really well, and I've had a lot of really good quality training partners and coaches.
Yeah, you know, it's been a while since we last seen you in the ring octagon, but you've had quite a little break. Has that helped you in any way? Obviously, you know, you're so active, Janay, so maybe it's good to take a small step back and just reflect, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was somewhat a little bit forced. I had a little bit of a break after that last fight because of the crazy lockdown that happened in Australia, and I was stuck in Sydney. But that gave me the opportunity to come over to San Diego. I mean, I got stuck in it for a couple of months, and I had to do something extravagant to make sure that I could keep training. So I ended up going over to San Diego for 3 months, and that was like definitely some of the best 3 months of training that I've had. Like I've been able to connect with so many gyms here and be able to enjoy the training from a lot of like high quality coaches and meet new people and network and all that sort of thing. So now I've got a great base out here. I can continue to sort of come over here before fights and do that ongoing so that I can get rid of this travel earlier on and be the best version of myself coming into fight week.
I love it. No, look, every training camp could possibly be different, but obviously this training camp, is it a bit different to the previous one?
Yeah, definitely different. I mean, considering it's the first time I'm not coming over to the US on fight week. I mean, it's the first time I'm not doing that 30 hours of travel like the week of. It's a bit different because I've sort of changed camps as well, just with the lockdown. It not forced me, but it just changed everything. The COVID and everything changed the perspective of so many things. Moving from Sydney back to the Gold Coast, back to my hometown, getting eye surgery, everything's changed. Sort of everything's been crazy, but at the same time, I guess you take the consistency of all my maturity from all my previous fights, and then just knowing what to do when it comes to camp. Like this is like, you know, second nature to me almost. Like I know what I need to do. I need to get the weight down. I need to hit my certain amount of sessions. I need to do the road work. I need to do strength and conditioning. It's all just like another kind of thing, and I definitely missed it, and I definitely didn't want that layoff to be as long as it was, but now we're back. I'm super excited.
I love it. No, Janay, I don't like talking about losses, but your last fight was incredible, and I'd say you're very, very pissed off and frustrated the way it ended. It's look, I can only imagine being a spectator how frustrating that was for you, because you were very dominant, and you know, you could say a moment of magic happens and the fight turns the other way. But look, there's no doubt we're going to see a rematch between you and Leah in the near future, but obviously you're going to take a lot from that, and, you know, it's going to help you move forward, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely. It's a strange feeling to sort of lose, but have a lot of confidence in your abilities. Obviously, this is the fight game. It kind of chews you up and spits you out sometimes, and that was definitely a big learning curve. I think I could still take so much from it. I could still take so much from the performance, and I definitely proved that my skill set's it's there and it's hanging with some of the best, and Leo's a phenomenal fighter, and I proved that my skill set was above that, and I just made a split-second decision, and it kind of didn't go my way, which is fine. I mean, it's exciting looking forward. Obviously now she's coming off a loss. There's possibilities of, you know, getting that rematch. That's just how the division will go anyway, because it is one of those kind of divisions, the featherweight division, of us sort of fighting each other, or how now she's fortunate, I fortunate, and everyone sort of fought each other. It's how it goes. So So looking forward, it is positive now. It was super frustrating at the time, of course, but nothing but like good things to sort of take away from it and add to my journey and add to coming into this next performance and the confidence that I have in my skill set.
Oh, I love it. Now, Janay, we know there's only 2 divisions via Bellator, but like, do you think there's close to seeing more divisions being added? Maybe more catchweight fights? Look, we know, I mean, it could be tough to cut weight sometimes. You know, Cyborg, you know, she's #1 and champ, but like, do you reckon it's only a matter of time before we see maybe 1 or 2 more divisions added to the Bellator women's division?
I definitely think a bantamweight division is there's a somewhat of a demand for it there. I think a lot of the girls that are in either the featherweights or the flyweights have kind of asked for it as an option. I don't know about the lightweight division. I think maybe if like Kayla had come over during those talks, it would have been a possibility. And there is, I mean, the likes of, not to like shun her or anything, but like Leah and that kind of not making weight. I don't think Leah would make for a very good lightweight. But you know, I mean, maybe it's something that would give them the option. But I think there's definitely more of demand for that bantamweight division. I think that would be an exciting feat. I know that the bantamweight division in the UFC is like mediocre now. It's sort of like after the Ronda Rousey and era almost, it's sort of like flattened out a little bit, but there's a lot of opportunity for Bellator to sort of fill that gap with some of the girls that we already have and maybe some other up and comers.
Definitely. No, April 23rd, Diana, the opponent, Silva. Like, it's going to be a great fight, but obviously, look, you know, you're an absolute pro when it comes to training camp and fight night. You're obviously looking forward to this fight, getting back out there. What do you make of your opponent heading into this fight?
I'm super excited. Obviously, she's coming off 2 losses, but against 2 massive names like Arlene Blanco and Julia Budd. She sort of, she went into the deep end coming into Bellator, and she hung with them quite well. So I'm definitely taking her as no slouch. I'm excited to, you know, test my skills and definitely my striking, especially because she does like to stay on the feet. So for me, I'm just looking to stay clean, looking to stay sharp, looking to show as much as I can in my elevated skill set over this time off that I've had and all the things that I've learned during that time. And just this new motivation coming off surgery and the sacrifice that I made. So it's exciting. Diana Silva is a great matchup, and I'm excited to go forth.
And like, your striking is absolutely beautiful. Do you reckon we'll see you back boxing? Is that something that you might do again?
Yes, I think so. Definitely a little bit more of a dynamic style. I think as much as I was finding quite a lot of success against Leah in the striking, I maybe wasn't as dynamic as I could have been. I definitely feel like there was still holes and improvements in performance that I've made better performances sort of in the gym. So I'm looking to show just a tidier version of that, basically a little bit more dynamic and the MMA style that I know that I can represent, and more of my style, you know, like I feel like I represent myself really well in my striking. So I'm going to do that against Diana.
I love it. Now, what do you make of all this celebrity fighting? We see Jake Paul and all these celebrities making great money. Is there any female celebrity that you look at and say, look, I want to punch him? I know you're a lovely person, but look, anyone that you ever look at and say, you know, I want to punch her and you know, get a big YouTube celebrity on and make a bit more money?
Honestly, not really. I mean, like, these are all like clout chasing kind of matchups. The only thing that did irritate me was that Halle Berry MMA movie. I really feel like that was extremely distasteful. I feel like it was stereotypical, trying to, you know, sell a sob story that was kind of what the casual fan would almost expect of a female MMA fighter. And it sort of just, I don't feel like it paved us in a very good light. I mean, I don't think males would have really been that bothered because they weren't really represented in the same light. But I really don't think it represented female MMA fighters very well. And the sports people that we are, it didn't represent us as athletes. And at the end of the day, this is a very tough sport where you can't be eating pizza on the couch and smoking cigarettes. There's absolutely no way. So that was the only thing that maybe irritated me. And she also mentioned some things that if she had decided, she would have been able to become an MMA fighter. And I don't think it's as easy as what she's sort of making it out to be in the public eye. I think there's a lot of people in Hollywood that think that they could become an MMA fighter, but I can tell you right now, all the stuff that I've sacrificed and I've seen other people sacrifice, it's not as easy as it looks on paper.
I love that take. Now, Janay, look, I know you're proud of your roots and stuff. Bellator, the Gold Coast. What would that mean to you personally to get a fight out there? And we see obviously Bellator's come to Ireland. It's come to the UK. But what would it mean to you to get it to your hometown and your direction?
Oh my gosh, this would be it's definitely been it was one of my long-term goals when I first signed with them. They've never been to Australia. I've literally spoken to Scott about this before as well. Speaking of bringing it to Australia, that would mean absolutely everything to me, representing not just Australia, but obviously New Zealand as well, and the Māori people, and bringing it back to our home area in the Pacific. It would be incredible. I think even somewhere like Sydney or Melbourne, either of those two, because they are bigger cities, and I know I could easily sell out those kind of stadiums. And as we've seen in the past with UFC fights being successful over there and completely selling out Marvel stadiums and that kind of thing, I think Bellator would surpass their expectations of a home crowd and stuff like that. And I'm sure Ireland has done the same. So I would like to be the first to sort of bring it there and headline it and represent and have some of my friends and family be on the undercard and that kind of thing. That would be magnificent.
Definitely. No, speaking of Ireland, Janay, you have a massive fan base in Ireland. I know you know that because I said it to you last time. And on Twitter, on Instagram, you're always being tagged. But look, September 23rd, you're back in Ireland, the Tree Arena. Maybe you could push. September's not too far away. You'll be fresh after this fight.
Yeah.
Is that something you could look at maybe down the road, coming to Ireland and fighting?
Absolutely. I mean, having that layoff means I want to get as active as I possibly can. I want to make up for lost time. I have been to the UK before, so I do love the UK. I mean, the weather's not the same as it is in the Gold Coast, but I do still love it. And I would love to go back over there. I have a lot of, friends and family and connections and everything like that. So it's a comfortable place for me. I do feel like us, Australia, New Zealanders do relate a little bit more to the UK sort of humor, and Ireland and Scotland and England and everything like that. We have a very similar sort of culture, I think, in comparison to maybe Americans. So I would love to be back there and enjoying that home crowd. That looks magnificent to be amongst all those guys and maybe represent as well. That would be amazing.
We hope you're coming over, and we'll keep Scott in mind. We'll keep pestering Scott to make sure that happens.
It's just before my birthday too, so that'll be great.
Epic. Now, we have to mention quickly, Janay, look, Scott, he's the man, he's very likable. I've met him, what's it like to have him as the boss man? And obviously, look, he's a great guy. He's making some great stuff happen worldwide.
Yeah, I mean, he's fantastic. You can't fault the man. I think a lot of people really undermine his achievements from the past. I mean, Strikeforce and even just when you look at the team that's around him, when you go to Bellator Fight Week, these guys genuinely love their boss. They've been with him for years and years, and there may be even some family members or students of the men's martial artist himself. A lot of people don't really realize, and he's just a genuinely, I think, in this business, I've met a lot of people at the highest level. I've been in the mix for a while, and I've been able to travel, and I've got great connections and managers and that kind of thing. So I've met a lot of great people, and he's one of the few good ones. I can say that from experience. And I don't think in a $1 million corporations you don't get a lot of good people anymore, because it is business at the end of the day. But it's cool to see that the place that I'm at is a good place, and it's run by genuine people, and I think that's fantastic.
I love it. So the week before fight week, obviously, look, you're looking great. You're looking fresh. You don't look, it's a tough cut weight and stuff. But look, enjoy Hawaii. We're going to be watching live as always here in Orlando. All the best. And can we get a quick prediction? Are you hoping to finish the fight early, or are you happy enough just to do the rounds and get the time in?
Always looking for a finish, always looking to make it exciting. So yeah, we're going to go second round TKO, finish it in style, keep it nice and crisp at the start, and then move into a finish for the second round.
I love it, champ. Listen, all the best. We're looking forward to seeing you rise back up to the rankings. Hopefully we see you September 23rd in Ireland. All the best, Janay, and we'll see you next week. Thank you, champ.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. See you. Thank you.
See ya.
Be sure to check out and support all our media partners. Sports Matters, bringing the sports home.